Alright, what's your name and what do you got in here, man?
Jawan. I got, in all honesty, I just bought these for a couple from my teammates. And all I know is they got Sundown softwares. I don't know what the motors are or nothing.
That's alright.
And the prefab box, but to me, in all honesty, it sounds decent.
Okay. How much power?
I got a Powerus 5K.
Power base?
Powerus.
Power, okay.
It's
Never
like
heard of that
10
before.
rams, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
I don't know how that holds it.
Uh-oh. What is this? Audiopipe Mids and Orion Tweeters? Okay. And then you got a dual head unit Pioneer.
Yeah.
What is your name?
Jawan.
Jawan.
Yeah.
Have you metered it yet?
Nope. I just got these in like, just somewhere just threw together.
Okay. What's the prefab tune to, do you know?
38.
38? Okay. So you point a little higher. Alright. For prefab, you're going to work on maybe getting a custom box today?
Yeah, it was custom, but I just didn't have time to get it down there. I got one on the way up here.
Can I see the trunk?
You don't need this one.
I mean, I would like to. It's alright. It can't be too bad, man. That way, at least we can see how it looks, the port and all of that. That's not bad, dude.
That's not bad.
No,
that's horrible to me.
Nah, man. They're good.
It's funky.
I was expecting like trash everywhere and wires everywhere. Dude, that's pretty clean. It might not be pretty, but I mean, that's pretty good, man. Have you ever tried invert the subs or mount them the other way?
No, I literally just threw this together.
It's alright. Powerus 5K. Okay. Brazilian. Looks good, man.
Yep. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
How you doing this morning?
Good morning, brother. Good morning, Uncle George.
You got some booty in this house last night? I told you I don't want no company in my house. I told you that I don't want none of them little fast girls in my house. No females in this house. That's the rule. There's a one bowl rule in effect.
I ain't gonna lie. I got some cutty last night.
Stop, man. You got no cutty. Raise the prices, raise it 2 times. No cap, these dogs be the new vibe. We don't like suicide, so the doors fly. She said I heard her feelings 52 times. Call her queen, the queen can't play from the young boy. Made her scream, she never found her too hard. Said IG, cause when she posted, go up. Is she for kids? Only if she come with 2 arms. Yeah. I be sniping, I can't be wifing. I know she feisty, hunt your bison. She treat me righteous. Nigga don't mean to brag. No, I be trying to keep it cool, but I snuck your ass. No Fifi, I ski on your face ass. Gonna hunt your took on top that ass. Pull up on you auto-tune when I get that ass. Pull up on your feet from the room when I put that ass. I see a queen on the tree. What you see? She like the right new boy tree. New boy. I see a queen on a tree. What you see? She like the right new boy tree. Nikki, do you love me? Why you crying? She don't wanna be a queen unless she got me. She don't wanna be on scene unless we married. No cap. Real tea in my double cup, it can't spill. Left the fire on the dresser at the hotel.
Nigga not stopping my business. All you can do is respect. I'ma put on for my sex. All I'ma be is success. This shit be getting some stress. But I'm about to kill him with this. Fuck your bitch down in the west. Teach that little bitch in the business. But I got some more on the way, my bitch. I got some more on the way, my bitch. I got some more on the way, my bitch. I got some more on the way, my bitch.
Flex more.
Hey, what's up guys? I'm JacobViral, do daily cardio videos. Have a couple of topics to discuss on the cardio world today after I do a shout out. First, would like to say thanks everybody for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this trunk system with a Powerus sub, with a trunk sub build. Pretty budget I would consider. Let me know what y'all think in the comments and let the owner know. He'll probably be seeing the comments. So appreciate y'all watching and gonna go ahead and get started. Shout out of the day is going to go to Robert Van Hoy. He said, hey man, I'll take a shout out for this charity bike ride to support the Children's Cancer Research Fund. So I put the link up if anybody cares to check it out. Appreciate you watching, Robert Van Hoy. I see your comments all the time. Thanks for being a subscriber. And everybody, appreciate y'all for being subscribers. And if you just saw in the comments, the description right below me, I was talking about how you can get a shout out. If you would like a shout out about anything, I'll check out your channel and give you a shout out. Just ask in the comments or also message me on Instagram and Facebook, JacobViral. You can add me there as well. So I got a couple of topics to talk about today. First one is, can prefab get loud? What do I mean by that? In this video in particular, he had a prefab box. How did you know it was prefab? Because it's a generic design, it's carpeted, and it has a generic look to it. And you can tell because of the way the sides of the box is. Normally prefab boxes are smaller and tuned a little higher, because they're prefab. They're basically mass produced and they're built the exact same, depending, no matter what type of sub you're putting in it. They're building it the exact same specs and the same cubic space, the same tuning, etc. It's not built to the sub, it's built to a certain spec that's prefab, mass produced. So that's how you know it's prefab. So the question, can it get loud? Yes and no. So it depends on what kind of music you play and what your goals are. To optimize your output of your subwoofers, you're going to definitely want a custom box, but a prefab box can still get loud. Sat in plenty of systems, even this one sounded pretty good for a prefab, where the box is tuned in the mid 40 hertz range. It sounds loud and it actually squeezes you a little bit, but it doesn't play the lows really well, and it's still getting the output out of the sub if you're giving it the power that it needs, and it fits the recommended space for the subwoofer that it's in the enclosure. Then you can get pretty good and loud with that prefab box. But in general, if you were to match a prefab box with a custom box, 90% of the time the custom box, if it's built properly right, will be louder than the prefab. But there have been some guys that said that their prefab box was louder than their custom box, but that turns out to be because of tuning issues, or the box was too big for the sub with the custom box, as well as maybe the way the box was built, the air velocity isn't working as well with the port, or it was a sealed enclosure. So there's a lot of factors in that, but in general the answer is yes, prefabs can get loud, but if you have the opportunity, get a custom box. Second thing, custom subwoofers like in this build. So I don't know much on custom subwoofers. Maybe you guys can explain the breakdown in the summary and comments for that, please. Subs, there's soft parts, there's a cone, there's motor, and there's push terminals, etc. Stuff like that is custom to every subwoofer, and you don't think about it when you just buy the subwoofer already built, but there's like 4 or 5 components that go to this subwoofer to make it what it is, and that's how this was a custom subwoofer. It had a different motor, we didn't get to see it, sorry, than the cone, and the cone didn't have a logo on it because it was custom. The logo is literally just going to be whatever goes on the cone, so any brand can put its own logo in it. The soft parts and the motor is what matters most, as well as the basket. So, next thing on the list, what's the best tuning for daily drivers? It's going to depend and vary from setup to setup. In general, for a trunk system, if you like to play a lot of rock and punchy bass, tune a little higher, 38 to 42 hertz range. If you like lows, tune 28 to 32 hertz. Don't tune any lower than that unless you just want to lose a lot of the high-end output. But in general, overall, between 32 and 34 hertz is the most common ported enclosure I've noticed in the trunk world. Not just trunk, but in a ported enclosure world for no walls and enclosures that are even walled. A lot of people tune in the low 30s. That way they can play music into the mid 20s and up to the mid 50s pretty well. So in a 4th order and 6th order case scenario is another topic on that. But in general, for a ported box, normally 30 to 34 hertz range is a good tuning area. So that's all I got for today. Appreciate y'all watching. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask. Once again, thanks for always watching, and let me know in the comments what y'all think, and if you could, please talk about the custom subwoofer parts, because I don't know, and I'll read the comments and reply and appreciate it, because it's teaching me as well. So stay tuned for next video tomorrow. See ya.